I am 60 years old, and before I leave this world, there is something I must tell you. People think they know me, a quiet old woman who spends her evenings on the veranda, sipping tea, smiling at the neighbors, telling children fairy tales. But what they don't know is that behind these wrinkled hands and these tired eyes, I carry a story that has been eating me alive for more than 40 years. A story I never had the courage to tell, not to my children, not to my friends, not even to the man I married. Tonight, I want you to listen, because once you hear it, you will never see me the same way again. Do you see that old wooden box under my wardrobe? You've asked me about it so many times since you were small, and I always brushed it away with a smile. I told you it was nothing, just an old box full of memories. But that wasn't true. Inside that box lies the part of me I tried to bury. It is filled with letters and photographs that I could never throw away, no matter how much they burned my heart. That box is the weight I have carried all my life, and soon it will be yours to open. I grew up in a little village where the evenings smelled of fresh bread and wood smoke, where children ran barefoot, and where everyone knew everyone else's business. My world was small, but it was filled with love, laughter, and one person who meant everything to me, my younger sister. Yes, I had a sister. You never knew about her because I erased her from my life the day she broke my heart. But once upon a time, she was the other half of my soul. We did everything together, cooked, sang, dreamed. We promised each other that no matter what, we would grow old side by side, holding hands the way we did when we were little girls. I thought nothing in the world could break us. I was wrong. I was 18 when he came into our lives. He was tall, charming, with a smile that made my heart beat faster. He spoke gently, carried himself with confidence, and when he looked at me, I was sure he saw something no one else did. I fell in love with him before I even realized it. I thought he was mine, that fate had written him for me. But fate, my child, has a cruel sense of humor. While I was dreaming of a life with him, my sister was already living it. I found out by accident. A letter slipped out of one of her books one afternoon, a letter filled with his words, his promises, his love, all written for her. My hands shook as I read it. My heart pounded so hard I thought it would burst out of my chest. I couldn't breathe. It felt like the ground had opened beneath my feet. The man I loved, the man I believed was mine, had been meeting my sister in secret, planning a life together, while I sat in the dark, dreaming foolish dreams. I confronted her. I still remember the look in her eyes. Fear, guilt, tears. She begged me to understand, begged me to forgive her. But how could I? How could I forgive the one person who knew every beat of my heart and still betrayed me? I screamed, I cried, and then I told her something I can never take back, that she was dead to me. That night she left, and she never returned. Weeks turned into months, months into years, and she disappeared as if the earth had swallowed her whole. Our parents said her name only in whispers until even that stopped. Life went on. I married another man, I raised my children, I played the role of a good wife and mother. But inside, a part of me stayed frozen in that moment, holding that cursed letter, watching my sister walk away into the night. The letters in that box. They are from her. Letters she wrote to me after she left. Letters I never answered. She wrote about her struggles, her regrets, her love for me. But I was too angry, too proud, too wounded to respond. I locked them away, thinking silence would erase the pain. It didn't. Silence only turned it into a ghost that has haunted me every single day since. And now, here I am, 60 years old, with only a few breaths left to tell you this story. I don't know if I did the right thing, cutting her out of my life. I don't know if she deserved forgiveness, or if I deserved to suffer the way I have for holding on to my pride. All I know is that the love I lost and the bond once shattered have followed me into every corner of my life. Tell me, my dear, if you were in my place, if the one person you trusted most in the world betrayed you in the deepest way, would you forgive them? Or would you close the door forever as I did? I want to know because even now, after all these years, I am not sure if I chose love or if I chose loneliness. The rest of my story will tell you what happened when the past I tried so hard to bury came knocking again, years later, when I least expected it. And when it did, I had to face not only my sister's ghost but also the truth about myself. When I walked away from my sister that night, I thought I had sealed that chapter of my life forever. I thought I could build new walls, create new memories, and bury the pain so deep it would never surface again. But life, my dear, has a way of dragging the past back to you when you least expect it. It was many years later, long after I had children of my own. By then I was no longer that 18-year-old girl with dreams in her eyes. I had become a woman of responsibilities, a mother who cooked, cleaned, and carried her family on her back. But even in those years, whenever I looked into the mirror, I could see her, my sister, in the curve of my face, in the tilt of my smile. It was as if she was haunting me from the other side of the glass. One afternoon, when I was about 40, a letter arrived. There was no name on the envelope, no return address, just my name written in handwriting I hadn't seen in decades. My hands trembled before I even opened it, because I already knew who it was from. She had found me again. The letter was long, written in ink smudged with tears. She told me she was sorry, that not a single day passed without her thinking of me. She told me that the man she chose over me had betrayed her too, that he left her when she needed him most. She wrote about the nights she spent alone, crying for forgiveness, longing for home, but too ashamed to return. And then at the end, she begged me, to answer her, just once. I didn't. I couldn't. My pride was a chain around my heart, and instead of breaking it, I locked her words in that box with the rest of her letters. I told myself I had moved on, but I hadn't. Every night, when the house was quiet, I thought of her voice calling my name, and the silence I gave her in return. Years went by. My children grew older, and I grew weaker. My husband passed away, and I found myself more alone than I had ever been. And it was in that loneliness that I began to hear her again. Her laughter, her crying, her whispers. At first I thought it was only memory playing tricks on me, but then something happened that made me realize the past was not done with me yet. It was a rainy evening. I was sitting on the veranda, watching the drops slide down the vines, when a knock came at the door. My heart leapt in my chest, because somehow I knew before I even opened it that it would be her. And it was. She stood there, drenched, shivering, older than I remembered but still my sister. Her hair was streaked with grey. Her eyes carried years of sorrow, but behind all of it was the same face I had loved and hated in equal measure. For a moment we just stared at each other, and then she whispered, "Can you forgive me?" I wish I could tell you that I ran into her arms, that all the years of pain melted away in a single embrace. But that would be a lie. The truth is, I froze. My heart wanted to rush forward, but my pride held me still. I told her I couldn't do this, that it was too late, that we were strangers now. And I closed the door. But as I sat alone inside, listening to the sound of her footsteps fading into the rain, something inside me broke. For the first time, I realized the price of holding on to anger. I had lost her once to betrayal, and now I was losing her again to my own stubbornness. That night I opened the box and read all her letters. Every word was soaked in pain and love, regret and hope. I cried until my body ached, because I knew then what I had done. I had punished her for her mistakes, but in doing so, I had punished myself. I had traded my sister for my pride, and what had it given me? Nothing but loneliness. The days after that were torture. I searched for her, asked around, even wrote letters of my own, but it was as if she had disappeared into the earth. I never saw her again. Now, at 60, as I sit here telling you this story, I wonder if you will judge me for the choices I made. I wonder if you will say I was strong for protecting my heart, or weak for letting anger rule me. All I know is that forgiveness is not as simple as people think. It is not just a word, it is a battle inside the soul, a battle I lost. If you are listening to me now, I beg you, don't make the same mistake. Don't let pride steal from you the people you love. Because one day, when the house grows silent and the nights grow long, it won't be your enemies you remember. It will be the faces of those you shut out, the voices you silenced, the hands you let slip away. My story is not over yet. There is one more piece I must tell you, the part that hurts the most, the part that made me finally open the box for good. But before I tell you that, I want you to think about something. If someone from your past, someone who hurt you deeply, came back to your door asking for forgiveness, what would you do? Would you open your arms, or would you let the rain carry them away as I did? Answer me honestly, because your answer may be the key to understanding what comes next. I am 60 years old, and this is the last part of my truth. You already know how I lost my sister once to betrayal and once to my own pride. But what you don't know is how her absence followed me like a shadow until the very end. I thought that closing the door on her would give me peace. Instead, it gave me silence so heavy that even the laughter of my children could not lift it. And then, one day, the silence was broken in a way I never expected. It was a winter morning. The air was sharp, the kind that makes your breath visible like smoke. I had gone to the marketplace for bread and vegetables when I saw her name. It was on a notice board outside the church, written in small, almost forgotten letters. My sister had died. She was gone, buried in a graveyard only a few miles away from where I lived, and I never even knew she had been so close all those years. The world around me blurred. I could hear the vendors shouting, the children laughing, but to me, everything was distant, muffled, meaningless. I felt as if the earth had betrayed me again. She had been near enough for me to find her, and yet I didn't. I had wasted years clutching my anger while she carried her sorrow alone, and now it was too late. I went to her grave the next morning. It was small, unmarked except for her name carved into the stone, and covered in dry leaves. I knelt down, and for the first time in decades, I spoke to her. My words came out in sobs, apologies spilling from my lips faster than I could catch them. I told her I was sorry for not answering her letters, sorry for letting my pride be stronger than my love, sorry for shutting her out when she needed me most. I cried until the ground beneath me was wet with my tears. But the stone stayed silent. The one person I longed to hear from could never answer me again. When I returned home, I opened the box. I took out every letter, every photograph, every scrap of memory I had locked away. And instead of hiding them again, I placed them in front of me and read them all aloud, as if she was sitting across from me. I let myself feel every word, every regret, every piece of love she had tried to give me even after I had pushed her away. And when I finished, I realized that I could not undo the past, but I could keep her alive in the only way left to me, through my voice, through my story. That is why I am telling you this now. Because secrets are poisons that rot the soul, and silence is the cruelest punishment we can give ourselves. I carried this secret for so long that it nearly destroyed me. But you, my dear, you don't have to. You can learn from me. You can choose differently. Do not wait until the grave to say the words that matter. Do not let anger, or pride, or fear steal away the people you love. If someone has hurt you, and you still feel even a spark of love for them, speak it. Forgive them. Because the day may come when you stand over their grave, and then forgiveness will no longer be for them. It will only be a wound you carry inside yourself. I think about my sister every day. Sometimes I imagine her walking through that door again, smiling like she used to, holding out her hand the way she always did when we were children. And in my dreams, I always take it. In my dreams, I do what I should have done all those years ago. I forgive her. I hold her, and I never let go. But dreams are not reality. Reality is that I let her walk away twice, and I will live with that forever. Perhaps that is why I am telling you this story, so that at least someone, somewhere, can learn from my mistake. If I cannot change my past, maybe I can help change your future. So now, as I sit here at 60, my voice trembling, my hands weak, I ask you one final question. Who is the person in your life you need to forgive? Whose name makes your heart heavy? Whose memory you keep locked in a box, hoping it will fade? Don't wait. Don't waste years as I did. Go to them, speak to them, forgive them, or ask for forgiveness yourself. Because tomorrow is never promised, and regret is the heaviest burden of all. This is my story. The story of a sister I loved, a sister I lost, and a sister I will carry with me until my last breath. And now, it is your story too, because you carry my words. Don't let them be just words. Let them be the choice you make when life tests you with love and betrayal. Let them be the reason you hold on, not the excuse you let go. And if one day you find an old wooden box hidden in some dark corner of your life, don't wait as I did. Open it. Face it. Because inside it, you may not just find the past, you may find the chance to save your future.